Lipstick on the lens might have been the start, but what followed was a moment no one saw coming. Chrisean Rock went live on Instagram holding baby Junior in her arms, and what she said wasn't just a tender mother-son moment. It was a direct, fiery response to Blueface's mom, Karlissa, who'd accused her of being an unfit parent. Karlissa, never one to stay silent, had claimed that Junior was growing up in chaos. But with her son smiling beside her, Chrisean hit back with tears, rage, and raw emotion, launching into a powerful monologue that shook viewers to the core. "She's never even held my baby, but wants to judge how I raise him." Chrisean's voice trembled as she looked directly into the camera, her emotions spilling out with the weight of months if not years of silent suffering. Midway through her now viral Instagram live, she dropped a revelation that didn't just rattle viewers. It fundamentally shook their understanding of everything they thought they knew about her relationship with Blueface and his mother, Karlissa. This wasn't some messy social media outburst. This was the public unraveling of a deeply fractured family system, one that's been simmering behind filters, shade, and silence for far too long, and caught in the crossfire. A baby boy named Junior, who never asked for any of this. The rawness of Chrisean's emotions, the cracks in her voice, the conviction in her tone, all of it made one thing painfully clear. This wasn't performance. It was pain. It was a mother fighting for her child, not just against public opinion, but against people she once thought might become family. What viewers were witnessing in real time was the breaking point, the moment when years of built-up tension between Chrisean and Karlissa finally exploded. And for those just tuning in, it may have seemed sudden. But make no mistake, this feud didn't begin with the livestream. It had been quietly festering for months, even years. Beneath the surface of Instagram posts and passive-aggressive shade, the seeds of this conflict were sown the moment Chrisean gave birth to her son, Junior. A moment that should have marked peace, renewal, and unity. Instead, it became a battlefield. Chrisean's birth vlog was raw and honest, screaming through contractions, crying tears of joy as she held her son for the first time, and sharing the sheer vulnerability of new motherhood. Fans flooded the comments with love, empathy, and admiration for her transparency. But one voice stood out in cold contrast: Karlissa's. Less than 48 hours after the birth, Karlissa posted a cryptic, chilling message to Instagram: "The devil's kids come screaming into this world. Just saying." The internet recoiled. Fans begged her to stop. But she didn't. Instead, she escalated. What followed was a relentless campaign of criticism. Karlissa accused Chrisean of using her baby for clout, claiming she was mentally unwell and unfit to raise a child. She questioned her intentions, her parenting ability, and even her morality. "She don't need a baby, she needs therapy," she said during one of her own live streams, and from that moment, the gloves were off. The truth is, this wasn't their first public clash. Their relationship has always been toxic, public, messy, and deeply personal. In 2022, Karlissa publicly accused Chrisean of manipulating Blueface, claiming she'd driven a wedge through their family. A year later, in 2023, she posted screenshots of alleged texts from Blueface suggesting he wanted out of the relationship and feared for his reputation. Chrisean fired back, saying the messages were fabricated lies designed to stir public doubt. Then, in 2024, Karlissa broke down on a live stream, saying she had lost her son to a girl who doesn't even know how to love herself. The drama continued like a slow-burning fire, stoked by mistrust, emotional baggage, and unresolved resentment. But perhaps the most harmful blow came when Karlissa publicly questioned Junior's paternity. In a now infamous rant, she implied Chrisean had been with half the industry and claimed there was no way Blueface was the father. The accusation was ugly, invasive, and demeaning not only to Chrisean but to her innocent child. Even Blueface, who's often been silent or aloof during family feuds, had to shut it down with a rare, clear post: "That's my son. Period." Still, the damage had been done. For Chrisean, every attack from Karlissa wasn't just was a denial of her truth, her strength, her motherhood. It wasn't just about social media clout or family disagreements. It was about being a woman, young, black, under a microscope, trying to protect her peace and raise her child in a world that constantly questions her worth. The live wasn't a meltdown. It was a manifesto. And it left one thing very clear: this isn't drama survival. From that moment forward, Chrisean made a conscious choice to keep her distance from Karlissa, at least in public. There were no more reactions, no interviews addressing the drama, no social media posts that could be interpreted as shade. Silence became her shield. But behind the scenes, it was clear the pain still lingered. The restraint wasn't because she'd healed, it was survival. Until last week, when the line Karlissa crossed wasn't just disrespectful. It was deeply personal. And this time, Chrisean had had enough. During a relatively quiet livestream with barely 1,200 viewers, Karlissa made a comment that sent shockwaves across the internet. Speaking casually, with no apparent filter or forethought, she said, "That baby never smiles, always looks confused. That tells you everything about the mother." The moment was clipped and uploaded to TikTok within minutes. From there, it spiraled. By morning, the clip had gone viral, with millions of views and thousands of stitches. Some viewers, surprisingly, sympathized with Karlissa, saying she was just a concerned grandmother expressing worry, but the vast majority were furious, accusing her of cruelty, bitterness, and projecting her own issues onto a young mother doing her best. But while the internet debated, Chrisean was breaking. According to sources close to her circle, she was heartbroken behind closed doors. The comment wasn't just mean, it cut to her core. She felt like everything she'd worked for as a mother was being questioned and diminished. Her sleepless nights, her moments of joy with her son, her efforts to raise him with love despite overwhelming scrutiny, all of it erased in one sentence. She felt humiliated, invalidated, and worst of all, like her bond with Junior was being dismissed as unworthy. So she decided to respond. But not with tweets, not with Instagram stories, not even with a cryptic caption. She went live holding her baby, not just to clap back, but to let the world see what words could never capture. This wasn't a PR move. It wasn't a calculated response. It was a woman saying, "Enough." That live stream, raw, emotional, and utterly unfiltered, may go down as one of the most defining internet moments of 2025. It started like any other Chrisean Rock live stream, ring light glowing, soft music playing faintly in the background, baby Junior snuggled in her arms. She smiled gently, rocking him back and forth as he giggled and waved at the camera. Comments poured in quickly. "He's so adorable. You got that new mom glow. Don't let Karlissa bring you down." But then, her expression changed. The softness faded. Her brows knit together. Her eyes, still glossy with love, sharpened with fury. She looked directly into the lens and, in a voice that was shaking, yet sharp, said, "I didn't want to do this ... but since his grandma wanna go live every week to talk about my child, here we go." Within seconds, viewership exploded from 5,000 to 20,000, then 60,000. And in less than 8 minutes, over 110,000 people were watching live. It wasn't just a live stream anymore, it was a reckoning. "She's never even held him," Chrisean said, her voice rising with each word. "She wants to talk about me being a bad mom. She never called, never visited, never once asked if he needed anything, not diapers, not formula, nothing. But she got the nerve to judge me." Then came the moment that silenced even her loudest critics. "She called my son ... a demon baby." Her own grandson, Chrisean said, tears now rolling down her cheeks. "You act like you care about Junior, but you don't. You just want control. And guess what? You lost that when your son chose me." She stood up, still holding Junior, pacing off camera briefly to collect herself. The screen shook slightly, her frustration echoing in every step. When she returned, her voice was firm, deliberate. "I'm done being quiet. You keep playing me like I'm weak. Like I'm not strong enough to raise this baby on my own." Then, she dropped the bombshell, one that no one watching expected. She turned her phone to the camera and revealed a set of screenshots, text messages, allegedly from Karlissa to Blueface, dated just days after Junior's birth. The texts were explosive. "Tell her to give the baby to your sister. She gone. Mess that boy up just like she messed up you. You need full custody. I'll help you take her to court." Chrisean's voice dropped, trembling but steady. "You were really gonna try to take my baby from me. You were gonna call CPS. That's not love. That's evil." TikTokers clipped the moment. Twitter spun it into trending and for the first time, the court of public opinion seemed to tilt in Chrisean's favor. She wasn't just another messy headline. She was a mother standing in the fire and refusing to let it consume her. Social media exploded. #KarlissaExposed trended in under 15 minutes. But Chrisean wasn't done. She stared straight into the lens. "You tried to play God with my son's life. But I prayed louder than you plotted." Then, in the worst possible moment, Blueface went live on his own page, while Chrisean was still streaming. his tone cold, dismissive. "Y'all know how Rock gets when she emotional," he said. "She always gotta go live. That ain't how grown folks handle stuff." Viewers were stunned. He's siding with his mom while she's breaking down live. The backlash was instant. Then he added, "I ain't seen Junior in 3 weeks. She blocked me. She mad at my mama 'cause she the only one telling the truth." Screenshots and clips flew across Twitter and TikTok. Chrisean, now visibly emotional, held her son and said softly, "This is my best friend. I do everything alone. I've got my family, but I'm up against his dad, a man who never cared, who pretends he's concerned now by calling me neglectful." A new wave of anger hit when fans realized a Hollywood Unlocked post hinted Blueface had received private photos, allegedly leaked by Karlissa. The comments section turned into a war zone. Some defended Chrisean's need for boundaries, others demanded both parents grow up. But then came a twist no one saw coming. As the stream neared its end, Chrisean kissed her son and whispered, "Y'all call him Junior 'cause of his daddy, but that ain't his real name. I named him after my brother. Because he has his heart, not his daddy's chaos." The chat froze. Even trolls went quiet. Her late brother, her anchor before fame, was the real namesake. In that moment, it was clear. She was choosing legacy over drama, stability over fame. But just as things quieted, a comment popped up from an unverified account. "See you in court. Watch what you post." Fans were convinced it was Karlissa on a burner. Chrisean simply smirked and whispered, "See you there, Grandma." That live should have been the peak. But the fallout was only beginning. Less than 12 hours later, Blueface's sister Karlissa went live on TikTok, and what she revealed lit the internet on fire. "I'm tired of this fake narrative," she said. "Mama talking about protecting the baby." She'd been calling CPS on Chrisean, sent people to follow her to the pediatrician. "This ain't protection. It's obsession." Callie came armed with receipts, screen recordings, alleged voice memos from Karlissa herself. One said, "We gon' get custody. Blue just gotta say the word. State can't let no crazy girl raise that baby on live." Another, "I ain't letting no hoodrat raise my grandson. Not while I'm still breathing." The internet couldn't believe it. Fans asked, "Is this even legal?" Then, it got real. Legal documents surfaced allegedly filed by Karlissa in LA family court. Not Blueface, requesting emergency visitation rights. Experts weighed in. Grandparents typically can't file unless the parents are unfit. Was this a backdoor custody move? Hours later, Blueface posted and deleted a cryptic tweet, "Y'all think my mom crazy, but y'all ain't seen what I seen." Fans begged for clarity. What had he seen? Why delete it? Old clips resurfaced of Blueface saying his mom once called the cops on him just to prove a point. Suddenly, the tide began to turn. Karlissa wasn't just ranting, she'd been building a case. And now, the world was watching. At first, fans saw Karlissa as a protective grandma. But, after Chrisean's explosive live in the receipts, she dropped leaked texts, CPS threats, and custody plotting, everything shifted. Now, she wasn't just messy, she was dangerous. The internet demanded action. Hashtags like #ProtectBabyJR and #LetRaen Heal began trending. Petitions to block Karissa's legal access gained tens of thousands of signatures. Even celebrities weighed in. Cardi B reposted Chrisean's live, saying, "Ain't no handbook for motherhood." While Summer Walker called out toxic moms, and Lizzo simply tweeted, "Baby Junior deserves peace, not posts." Karissa's planned appearance on Bet's Unfiltered was cancelled. Bet issued a statement, clearly wanting no part in the chaos. Then came a surprise. Blueface's estranged father, Andre Porter, broke his silence, posting, "Karlissa ain't no victim. That baby deserves peace. If Chrisean wants help, she's got it." The internet lit up. Could he be the ally Chrisean needs? What began as an emotional outburst was now national news. TMZ, The Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, everyone was covering it. Social media turned into a battlefield. Some defended Chrisean as a mother trying to break cycles while carrying trauma. Others still saw Karlissa as the only stable adult trying to protect the baby. Reddit threads exploded with speculation. Celebs kept chiming in. Cardi B tweeted again, "These moms out here competing with baby mamas like the real child ain't the baby." Summer Walker accused Karlissa of a Jocasta complex. Even Drea Michelle posted, "Sometimes blood don't make you family. Sometimes family tries to take what's not theirs." Karissa's brand deals vanished. Talk show spots got pulled. Podcasts distanced themselves. Meanwhile, Chrisean's livestream racked up over 2.8 million replays. Her music streams spiked. She gained nearly 500,000 followers in a day. GoFundMe's merch campaigns and TikToks flooded in. Support poured out from young mothers, influencers, and strangers who saw themselves in her struggle. But the mess got darker. Karlissa posted a now-deleted IG story saying, "Keep rooting for dysfunction. When something happens to that baby, don't say I didn't warn y'all." Fans were horrified. Was that a threat? Former friends of Karlissa claimed she cared more about headlines than the child. Then, the conversation spilled beyond social media. Daytime TV hosts debated it. Even CNN ran a segment on generational trauma and custody rights. But what truly shook the internet came from an unexpected source. A whistleblower. A licensed private investigator anonymously posted a video claiming he'd been hired by someone in Blueface's business circle. Not just Karlissa, to follow Chrisean and document her unstable behavior for court. The goal: catch her slipping, get her angry on camera, prove she was emotionally unfit, and take her son. Just as fans were trying to process it, Chrisean posted a screenshot of a DM that read, "Watch your back. They're building a case. Don't go live again. Your phone is tapped." She captioned it with one cryptic word. Bet. Was a network involved? A PR stunt gone too far? No one knew, and the story was spiraling. Then, the final twist, a screenshot, allegedly from Karlissa's burner account, threatening a fan who had defended Chrisean. "Keep defending that girl. Don't cry when her story ends like all the others." Was that a warning? A threat? Panic set in. That night, Chrisean went live again but didn't say a word. No tears, no speech, just her holding Junior in silence. At the end, she whispered, "They want me gone. But I'm not leaving." Then the screen went black. This is no longer just family drama. It's no longer petty online spats or subtweets laced with past. What we're witnessing is a full-scale power war, one laced with emotional trauma, legal threats, media spectacle, and strategic manipulation. It's not just a matter of who's hurt, who or who said what anymore. This has evolved into something far more dangerous and far-reaching. A custody battle cloaked in media smoke. A campaign for control disguised as concern. And a broken family laying bare its wounds in front of millions, with one innocent child, baby Junior, left in the middle of a war he never asked to be part of. And at the heart of it all is a deeply unsettling question. Who's really pulling the strings? Is it Blueface, caught between loyalty to his mother and responsibility to his child, saying just enough to stay relevant but never enough to take a stand? Is it Karlissa, whose relentless need for control has escalated from Instagram shade to court filings and surveillance-level tactics? Or is it someone else entirely, someone working behind the scenes, feeding the chaos, manipulating narratives, and weaponizing public opinion for profit, power, or personal gain? And then there's Chrisean, the eye of the storm. Is she truly unraveling, as her critics suggest? Or is she being silenced, systematically discredited, and emotionally cornered by those who fear her strength and her story? Is her live streaming a cry for help, or a powerful act of resistance? A plea for support, or a mother's desperate attempt to keep hold of her truth before it's twisted by others? These aren't just messy family questions. These are societal ones. They tap into deeper themes: the way we treat mothers under pressure, the way women of color are villainized for expressing pain, and how family systems can fail when pride, power, and public image override love and protection. And now, fans are being forced to choose sides. Online, the battle lines are drawn. Some viewers believe Chrisean is finally standing up for herself and her son, speaking truth to toxic dynamics that have festered behind closed doors. They see her tears, her exhaustion, her rawness, not as weakness, but as evidence that she's showing up, doing the work, and holding the weight of an impossible situation. Others argue that Karlissa is being unfairly demonized, that her sharpness comes from real concern, and her actions, while flawed, stem from a belief that Junior might be safer under someone else's care. Meanwhile, legal action is mounting. What was once contained to IG lives and reaction videos is now spilling into courtrooms, custody filings, and career consequences. Alleged screenshots, private investigators, whispered threats, emotional testimony, aired in real time. This isn't about he said, she said anymore. It's about what gets proven and who pays the price. The terrifying part: Junior's future may not be decided in a nursery filled with love and lullabies, but in a courtroom where strangers determine custody, character, and what's best for a child they've never met. So now, we ask you, not just as fans, but as witnesses to a cultural moment, whose side are you on? Is Chrisean justified in airing it all out, in peeling back the polished image to show what motherhood in the spotlight really looks like? Or is Karlissa truly just a misunderstood grandmother who's been pushed too far by the chaos? Has Blueface been complicit in a broader scheme to separate mother and child, or is he simply lost, a passive figure in a story that's spiraled beyond his control? One thing is clear. This will not end on Instagram Live. It will end in depositions, legal filings, and potentially public redemption or public ruin. Careers may hang in the balance. Relationships may be severed for good. And in the middle of it all is one child, the symbol of hope, love, power, and pain. And we'll be here watching, unpacking, documenting every twist, because in this story, no one is safe, no truth is guaranteed, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The next move could change everything. Stay tuned.